The women before us walked so we could run, and we have to run so the women after us can fly.
Hi, you've reached the Pink Hotline. I'm here today with Jess.
Hi.
Today we're going to be talking about something I feel like all females are trying to figure out right now, and that's how to embrace your femininity in a world that's constantly pushing the hustle culture.
Such, I think, an important subject that needs to be spoken about more, and I think it is getting spoken about more. So this is the time to jump on the bandwagon. Let's get speaking about it. Let's not hide what we're feeling anymore, and let's just be open.
Yeah, like they push us a lot to wake up at 5 a.m., build an empire, have 3 cups of coffee, and still somehow manage to have perfect hair.
Yeah, no, completely. I feel like femininity nowadays is just very mistaken. When you hear the word, you instantly think of a weak, soft, can't do anything for herself.
We are soft, but we're not weak.
No, exactly. But I think it's the thing that the stigma on the word needs to change, because femininity isn't weakness. It's actually very, very strong. And it's strong in the sense of the ability to harness your softness, harness your emotional intelligence, harness the ability to understand the needs for people around you and the needs for yourself, and to be able to prioritize this. I think it's just an amazing time for women to really step into their femininity and understand what they want.
Absolutely, absolutely. So today we're going to be exploring how to balance ambition, success, softness, and self-connection all together.
Cannot wait.
I'm excited too. So how do you personally define femininity, and how has that changed for you over time?
So for me, femininity is authenticity. It's the freedom to kind of have the ability to fully express yourself without feeling the need to harden yourself. So when I was younger, I feel like for me, I thought to be strong was to be loud, to be big, to be very masculine. And I think as I've grown and I've experienced a lot of lessons and I've been through different things, that has made me realize that femininity is the ability to be yourself, understand your authenticity, and really capture the ability to understand and listen to your intuition. But as I've grown, I've realized that real femininity, it comes from the power to be yourself, to understand your emotional intelligence, to listen to your intuition, and to express yourself in a way that you feel is comfortable to you and not how everyone wants you to express yourself.
I feel like modern day social media and just the way people depict life has kind of watered down our authenticity, and it's almost like going to war trying to be who you want to be and who you are as a female.
Completely. I think as a female nowadays, especially with social media, we are constantly thrown hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of images, of lifestyles, of personalities, of characteristics. We're meant to be, we're meant to have, meant to look like this, but at this period of time you're meant to do this. And I think it's having the ability to step away from that and realise, no, the best version of me is my authentic self.
Absolutely.
And not what everybody else tells me and wants me to be.
In a society that pushes for independence, how do you balance strength and softness?
So I think society expects these two things, especially for women, to be separate. Like strength and softness are two different things. And if you're one, you can't be the other. And I think for women, it's basically, you can be both. So strength isn't having to dial down your emotions. Strength is having boundaries. Strength is having standards. It's having self-respect. And softness is the ability to be nurturing, be your female self, be compassionate, and just allowing yourself to feel the things that we're meant to feel. You can be both strong and you can be both soft.
Unapologetically.
Exactly, absolutely. I think when it comes to boundaries, this is our strength. That is a woman's strength. And I feel like society now tells us that we're not allowed to have that, or you shouldn't have a boundary. And it's the complete and utter opposite. You should have that boundary and you should be enforcing that boundary. And with that comes your soft strength, because it's the ability to do
Soft strength, I like that.
Thank you. Because it is the ability to be like, I understand where you're coming from, thank you, but this is a boundary of mine and I would like you to respect that. You don't have to be loud, you don't have to be aggressive, you do not have to express yourself in a way that makes you masculine. You can express yourself in a feminine way and still be strong. And I think actually doing that makes you even stronger.
Absolutely, I agree. Like with that softness being a strength, I love that you said that, because it absolutely is, because it is what makes females feminine, you know. And if we try to embrace something that's the opposite, then we're empowering the masculinity within us instead of the femininity within us. But yeah, I absolutely love your mindset in terms of how you see.
Thank you. Do you know what? I think for so long, women have been forced to program ourselves to work in a masculine way, and it hasn't worked.
It's because we've been brought up in a patriarchal society, but things are shifting now. More women are empowered, more women are in power. Even though we're struggling to embrace our femininity, we are learning how to, and I feel like the sisters need to see this.
Completely. Do you know what I saw on the relation of that? I saw a quote and I thought it was such a beautiful quote. And it was, the women before us walked so we could run, and we have to run so the women after us can fly. And I thought that was so beautiful, because
beautiful.
The women before us, they went through so much hardship. They went through a lot. So we were able to get to where we are today. And we have to carry this on. We have to continue speaking. We have to continue fighting in a soft way for what we want, and being strong enough to say no so that the women after us can fly. I hope in 10, 20, 30 years' time, it's not even a question. Femininity is just
a way of being.
It's just a way of being. It's not you should be a feminine woman. It's but I'm just a woman. What do you mean?
Yeah.
And that's how I really hope modern society turns out to be.
In your field of work throughout life, have you ever felt the need to compromise your femininity in order to succeed?
Definitely, I think within the industry, especially within social media, I feel like women feel like they have to suppress their softer qualities to be taken seriously. And I just think that isn't the case. I think that a lot of the time is what we've been told to do from society's expectations. You have to dial down on some things, or you can't we're too emotional, you can't show emotion. So I think in that sort of sense, sometimes it is very difficult. But strength is doing the opposite of what everyone says and going towards basically expressing this emotion and being your authentic self, and not having to dial down because society says, well, no, but you can't do that. That's too emotional. You can't post that. People won't like that. Edit that bit out. And it's that strength of saying, well, no, that's me.
Yeah.
That's who I am.
Honestly,
I am going to post it.
I absolutely love women who do embrace who they are, you know, unapologetically, and not care about the backlash that comes with it, not care about the judgment that comes from it, because regardless, people will judge.
Exactly.
Whether you're doing good or whether you're doing bad. I know it sounds cliche, but it's the actual truth, you know?
And it's hard as well. I think there is a lesson and there is a strength in being able to ignore that and just shut that all out. And I'm not saying that's an easy thing to do.
It's definitely not.
It's not.
If it was easy, we'd all do it.
Exactly. But it's being able to not even turn off the noise, quiet down the noise, and be able to continue your mission, your purpose of what you want to do. Because I promise you now, whatever people are saying, whatever people are shouting, whether if that's from a stranger, from friends, from family, everything will change. And when you reach your goal, people's opinions will change very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Very quickly. It becomes a why have you done that to a how did you do that?
Yeah, and it also comes to someone not wanting to associate themselves with you to, I know that person.
Exactly. When everyone was telling me to stop, I continued. I kept going in my way. And I'm not saying that's you have to run yourself to the bone to the point where it's the ability of just continuing, even if each day, one day you do 1% and the next day you might do 90%, but you still continued and you still kept going.
It's the effort, it's the consistency.
Exactly.
Consistency builds character.
Yes, 100%.
Can you share a pivotal challenge that accelerated your growth?
Yes, definitely. So for me, I feel like when I was growing up, I was very, not necessarily blind, I'd say naive to certain situations. I used to think everyone would have the same heart, same outlook,
We've all made
same
that mistake.
aspect of how I would think. And I'd say being betrayed in a relationship was a very, very pivotal moment.
I'm so sorry that happened to you.
No, not at all. Thank you. In all honesty, I've actually said to people that even though it was a very tough situation, it was genuinely probably one of the best things that could have ever happened to me. And in the sense of, I was kind of forced to look inward. I was forced to understand more of myself. When I was in that situation, I ignored everything and I didn't listen to my intuition. I didn't listen to my femininity. I didn't listen to myself. I lost myself completely because I was trying to be someone that I wasn't. I was trying to push myself, make myself smaller so that the person that I was with could feel bigger, feel masculine, as a sense. Don't know if that was possible, but but going through that situation, it made me realize so much about myself. I learned so much about myself, and it was such a moment in time where I understand what I liked. I understand what I wanted. I feel like in society nowadays, especially from a culture that I have grown up in, it's very much like, well, you're young. When are you going to settle down? You've got to do this. Like,
there's a lot of obligations on females at such a young age. It's not that it doesn't allow us to be who we are, but it kind of hinders us because we have thoughts that aren't our own and we're trying to be something that we're not ready to be at that certain time of our life.
Completely.
You know, it's like sometimes you just got to take a step back. And like you said, some circumstances can happen to you and you can choose if you could take the positives out of it or allow the negativity to eat you up alive. But based on what you've just explained, you've actually allowed something negative to push you to do something that's super hard, by the way.
Yeah.
You know, that journey that you've taken to look inwards and try to, I guess, heal yourself from the inside out, because it takes a lot. You know, it's not easy. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it and everyone would be in a better place. But I guess society has taught us to embrace negativity more than positivity.
It has.
And we have to unlearn that and then teach ourselves the complete opposite.
Yeah. And do you know what? I think that was the hardest lesson in it, within everything that I went through, because it was basically having to wipe the whiteboard clean of everything that I thought I knew, everything that I thought was true, and start again on myself, start from a blank
canvas.
Exactly, a blank slate of understanding what I actually want and is someone actually good enough for me, not the other way around.
Yeah, right.
And having the strength to put up a boundary, but having even more strength to then enforce that boundary.
Absolutely.
And they're not easy things to do, especially as well when not everyone around you thinks the same. And that is completely okay. Everyone obviously has different opinions, but when you're trying to create something different for yourself and you're potentially going against the views or mindsets of a lot of people around you, it can make it a lot harder. But to anyone who is going through a similar situation, I think my best piece of advice would be take some time for yourself. It seems so scary. And I think the scariest thing to do is to look inward. No one wants to do it because of how hard it is. But I promise it's one of the best things that you can do, because when you come out on the other end of it, the things that you learn about yourself will just prepare you so much for the future and what you want for yourself.
So on that note, you know, for someone who wants to start that journey, what is it that made you decide to check yourself instead of blaming someone else?
I think it was because, and in no way am I condemning that in that certain situation it was my fault, because it was not my fault at all. But it was more the fact of, what type of person do I want to be? Especially being in my position and being within on TikTok and having sometimes a lot of eyes on you. What person do I want people to see, and do I want young girls to see? And I don't want young girls to look and feel like, oh, I need to do this and this and this to, you know, change myself because then someone will like me.
Yeah.
It's more
the societal pressures.
Exactly. It's more the point of people looking up at you and thinking, wow, there's a lot of strength there. I want to do this. I want to enforce this. I want to be more feminine.
Do you feel like all of that has helped you quieten down your self-doubt and, you know, the pressure that society puts on females?
Yes. I think for me, I've always had a hyperactive mind, and when it comes to things, I'm very much a go-getter in the sense of my mind's always running all the time. Got to do this, got to do that.
So tell me a bit about what it is that you do.
What
brought you here to Dubai?
So I actually am a content creator.
Okay, lovely.
So thank you. I do a lot of content within TikTok and Instagram, and I also do some UGC work, so user-generated content. So for anyone that does not know what that means, it's basically creating content for companies, and then they can use that for their own will. So if that's to post on their page, to run ads, it's completely up to them. But recently, I have changed my style of content to go towards basically empowering women. Of course, it has to be done, to talk about the things that aren't talked about all the time. And I've never been more excited for this path.
That's exciting. It is
very,
exciting.
very exciting.
So how do you define success, and what feminine traits do you think are underrated in terms of reaching a certain level of success?
So for me, I think one of the most underrated traits for a woman when it comes to our success, for any success, is intuition. Women have this power to just, we know. We don't know what it is, but when it comes to us, we know. And we don't listen to it enough. We don't. We think we do, but not all of the time we don't, because we'll go through a situation, we'll come across a problem, and there will be a voice, a feeling that will tell us the answer, and it's tapping into that ability to listen.
Actually listen, yeah.
Yes.
I knew you were going to say that.
Because a lot of the time we don't. We have this voice, and then our mind goes, I hear you, but I don't want to listen. I'm going to do this instead. And that doesn't work. And then we come back and then we go, oh, okay, my intuition was right.
I feel like our intuition sometimes is God's way of talking to us.
Completely. Do you know what? I mean, I even see videos of amazing businessmen, and they actually won't go into a partnership with someone until their wife has met them. And that is purely because they trust the woman's intuition.
We're spiritual.
So much.
Yeah, we have a spiritual connection where we can kind of read people's energies.
You know straight away. And I think sometimes men actually use women's intuition more than we use it ourselves. And we really need to tap into this power that we have, because I think we will go so far with it. And yeah, I just think it's the most underrated success. It's a skill, success that we have, that as women we need to tap into more.
Absolutely. How do you intentionally design your lifestyle to reflect your values, your aspirations, and your success and femininity?
For me, it actually is slowing down. A lot of the time we're told to work on overdrive, and I found that just taking things a lot slower.
Like, what do you do? What's your daily routine?
Daily routine.
Of being slow. Give us your daily routine.
So for me, not all the time, but sometimes I will wake up at 5:30 in the morning. But this isn't a get up at 5:30 and let's get into it. Sometimes I basically wake up at 5:30. I will go and basically have just a slow get ready. So I will go and make a drink. I will just brush my hair, do my skincare, very slow. And then I will get myself ready and I will take myself on a walk.
Okay.
So I love walking at the moment. I think it's just a time where I can be with myself. I feel very spiritually connected in this moment, especially to like nature around me. I'll usually go for different walks in different places. Kite Beach is a favourite for mine at the moment.
Okay.
Absolutely love it. And then I will come back. I'll make my breakfast, avocado and toast as always.
That routine lifestyle.
Exactly. And then at that moment where I've basically spent the morning with myself, that is when I will sit down and I'll think today, okay, what do I want to do today? What do I want to achieve? It's basically checking in with myself in the day and thinking, okay, how am I feeling today? Am I really in a productive mood? Then decide what I'm going to do with my day, because sometimes as well, I'll wake up in the morning and I don't want to wake up at 5:30 and I'll be like, okay, we don't have to wake up at 5:30 today. And I'll go back to bed and I'll wake back up at 8
It's
and
good
I'll start again.
with the fact that you're a content creator, you do have that flexibility to
Yes.
live life on your own terms. And I think like as a female, that's so important, to be able to live on your own terms and not what someone else is telling you to do.
I've been through so many careers. So when I was younger, I was a gymnastics and dance teacher. As I was going through school and my A-levels and everything, I went through retail jobs and waitressing. I then basically stepped into an apprentice role at a high-up firm in London. And it was actually in this moment that I felt so physically pushed into my masculine phase that I was like,
that's not for me.
This is not for me. I need to work out what I'm doing, what I want, because I physically cannot live in this way. And I think it's harder within the corporate world for women, because obviously a lot of the time it is a very masculine driven.
It's very male dominant.
Very masculine driven environment. And it's not built around.
I feel like corporate lifestyle is actually built for men. And it's, as a female, like, don't take this the wrong way. As a female, you can do whatever you want. But I just feel like as a female, you're meant to embrace your femininity through doing feminine jobs, in a sense.
Yes.
And, you know, for me, like, I don't see no issue in a female being a housewife, and I don't see no issue in a female working, you know, in a job, in retail, in office and whatnot. But don't ever let that lifestyle, that work culture define or water down your femininity. Completely. You should always, you know, have that resilience to still be who you are, you know, and not let something stop you from it.
It is, because within that environment, you are so forced into working in that way. And
because you are what you surround yourself with.
Exactly. I think as well, don't be scared to take that risk as a woman to want something else. Just because you've grown up your whole entire life being told that this is how you do it isn't necessarily the way that you should do it. Everyone's journeys are different, and that is what makes a journey so beautiful.
Absolutely.
Of how unique a journey is to everyone individually. And if you don't want to be in that environment anymore,
just pick yourself up
and plop yourself somewhere else.
Exactly.
Because I know it seems so fearful and you may be worried that it won't work, but it will. It will work. And those are masculine thoughts in your head that you are thinking. You just have to trust.
I feel like once you put your mind to something and actually truly believe it and start working towards that, it'll just come to fruition.
It will come so naturally.
Yeah.
It felt so much easier to just implement a lifestyle that suited me and was best for me. And
do you feel like your success is flourishing more because you are true to who you are?
Yes, completely. Every single month, I think I find something new about myself. And I think it's so beautiful. Like when it comes to obviously the New Year's, I always say to everyone around me, how exciting that we have a whole year ahead of us and we have no idea what's waiting for us around the corner. And I think that is so beautiful, and just to implement a way of life where you can adapt and choose and just be who you are as a woman.
I love being a woman.
I love being a woman. I don't actually know what I'd do if I was born a man.
How do you think, or how do you feel women could uplift each other in spaces where you'd find them criticizing or judging each other?
Collaboration instead of competition.
Love it.
I think it's very hard because we've always grown up in an environment where we feel like we're competing with one another. And it's just so, I think, unnatural as women. We're a nurturing species and
Full of love.
we are. And we shouldn't tear each other down.
It just doesn't feel natural
It
to
doesn't.
do so.
It really does not. I think obviously growing up, and I think social media has made this worse, there's a lot of comparison nowadays. Everyone compares their life, their journey to what they're seeing on a highlight reel on Instagram. And
Most of it is not even authentic.
exactly. And I think it's something I always say to everyone around me is just sometimes view the bigger picture. What you are seeing is literally 15 seconds of edited work. I know this because I do it. Like I edit videos and I'll put together videos that I know will do well on the algorithm. But I always say to everybody, like, you need to understand that this is 15 seconds. There's a whole bigger picture.
Yeah.
There's of everything. So don't view what you're seeing as this is someone's be all and end all of life, because it's not. Like they've got their lessons and they've got their highs and lows as much as you do.
Life is a balance of struggles and pleasures. Like if you don't struggle, you won't actually enjoy the good things in life. If you don't see the good things in life, then you won't understand why you're struggling, you know?
Exactly.
But if you, it's all a mindset thing at the end of the day. Like if you choose to see things from a positive perspective, then that's what you're going to see. But if you choose to have that negative lens, then your life is just going to look like a spiraling ball that's taking you nowhere that you want to be. If you just embrace your authenticity, be true to yourself, and, you know, don't, like, you can lie to the world, but deep down, you know who you truly are. And if you don't embrace her, then you will never feel your full strength, your full power.
No, and if you are constantly growing up comparing yourself to everyone and you're tearing down other women because that is the only way that you feel good about yourself,
then there's something wrong inside.
then there is honestly, whenever I see it, I actually feel, I genuinely feel sad and pity for them, because I'm like, you are really hurting.
Is there a certain experience in your life where someone close to you made you feel like you needed to be smaller? And I'm talking about a female, not a male.
I think definitely I've always gone through my life, obviously meeting certain women, but I actually have always been very good in the sense of listening to my intuition when it comes to meeting people. If I meet someone, I most likely know instantly if this person's going to be in my life.
It's that sixth sense you were talking about.
I think when you come across someone like that, it's nothing about you and it's everything about them and what they are going through. And
it's projection.
It is projection. And do you know what? I think it's going to get worse and harder in the sense of all these AI Instagram accounts.
I don't even want to talk about AI. I sent my sister's an account the other day. She looks more real than I do.
Honestly.
She looks more real than I do.
I don't know. Like, I think it's terrifying how I saw one and now I'm seeing about 5 a day. And it is just...
Imagine now we have to compare ourselves to something that's not even real.
Exactly. And this is the thing that I think is so scary, because I sent one account to my mum and my mum was convinced this was a real person.
Yeah.
And I was like, Mum, no, this is AI. This is fake. And in that moment I thought to myself, if my mum thought that was a real person, what about all these young girls that are seeing this and comparing, and then they're growing up with such a distorted view on how they look and how they should be? It's going to create hatred towards women. It naturally will, because they're trying to achieve something which is physically impossible to achieve because it's not real.
So what do you hope that women will take from your journey, your mindset, and your experience?
Growth is not linear. Growth is up it's down, it's back 2 steps, it's forward 5 steps, and embrace your journey because it's beautiful, because your journey is your own and no one else has your journey, and you will learn so many lessons within those journeys. And just take on as much as you can from every single lesson that you learn. Listen to yourself and just know that whatever you see, whatever you feel, it's all has a purpose towards what you want, and don't lose sight of that. Every single goal is important because it's
Absolutely.
all a part of your
Everything
journey.
matters, yeah.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for
Thank
your
you
time
so
today.
much. I've absolutely loved it.
You're so sweet. If any of you ladies have been through anything that you'd love to share with all the other girls that are watching, feel free to leave a comment below, or you can DM us and we can assist you with voicing your opinions in our next segment. Thank you for tuning into the Pink Hotline, and we'll see you next time.